morphling in the tri-lane, although I guess they wanted a killing tri-lane instead of a farming tri-lane. They wanted to keep the Weaver down as hard as possible. Or maybe they just misguessed and thought the Tinker would be in a tri-lane for some bizarre reason. So it looks like Vengeful Spirit and Sven are going to get nuked and swarmed for a bit, but they're just going to kill the bugs and proceed to move on. Meanwhile, Sand King is roaming bottom with a double damage rune. Let's see if he can pick off the Morphling. Morphling's already at half HP due to the Tinker's harassment. So let's see what Tinker does. Tinker does have enough mana. He has early level. Meanwhile, I missed a kill on bottom lane. Looks like Morphling sniffed off the gank, and Tinker is still chasing. Looks like he wants to get the kill, but he's not. He's got fogged, and he's unable to get the kill. Should I turn Fog of War on? I think I'll turn Fog of War on. My bad. Sorry, I usually turn Fog of War on, but I guess I just sort of forgot. Anyway, yeah. So for the rest of the game, you'll have Fog of War. Aren't you excited? So Clockwork turned level 6, picked up the hook shot, and let's see what happens now. Leshrac just does a little bit of a hate crime stun right there against the Scorpion people of Warcraft. So let's see what Morphling's doing. Morphling doesn't have anything. Maybe is he bottle crowing? I'm gonna guess he's bottle crowing. Although this is the Scourge Zeppelin, and Tinker is also bottle crowing. So I guess they're gonna use their tri-lane supports to pick up all the runes, with the Clockwork Rocket providing a lot of vision. Let's see. Don't really know. Morphling does a defensive waveform in order to farm. Let's see how many crows there are. There are 2 crows on the Scourge and 2 crows on the Sentinel. Meanwhile, I miss a kill. Leshrac managed to pick off Pink, the Yosh, the Sand King. And looks like, Weaver might be in a little bit of trouble. Let's see. Oh, Leshrac misses a stun, and Weaver's gonna Shikuchi out. Meanwhile, Crystal Main frostbites the Leshrac, and nope, nothing's gonna happen. Nothing at all. Premature excitement. Not as bad as other things that are premature. Meanwhile, Sven goes to Secret Shop and feeds. I don't really know what he was thinking there, but that's what it came down to. Looks like they might get Sand King again. No, Sand King with the clutch. Sandstorm saves his life, and Weaver will pick up a double kill, helping counteract some of the early fail that the bottom lane had. So I don't know. If bottom lane doesn't win their lane, I mean, theoretically, Windrunner should win their lane. And Morphling's losing his lane, so if bottom lane loses his lane, I don't really know what the Sentinel are gonna do. I mean, they're gonna have to turtle very hard and try to get their Morphling farm, because Morphling and a Leshrac and a Windrunner can probably outcarry a Weaver. And even if the Sven gets a little bit of farm, he'll be sort of effective. If he gets maybe a BKB or a Blink Dagger, he should be reasonably effective. So I think Sentinel do have better late game than the Scourge. Scourge have a Weaver, they have a Tinker, and Clockwork's not really that useful in the late game. Looks like Sven and Venge come out for a gank on the Tinker, but there's a defensive TP by Dark Green, and it's going to scare away. Clockwork does the most brilliant hook shot of all time and lands it on the Venge, and he's going to harass Sven a little bit. But Sven magic wands up and he'll escape very comfortably. So meanwhile, Weaver Windrunner. That was a Nebula Freudian sip right there. If you've watched Nebula's Dota Delis, which I am a fan of, then you will know that he mixes up Weaver and Windrunner all the time. Conversely, I think I tried to make this point in my last commentary just for like a sort of a troll face, but if you watch Luminous' commentaries, he always says, I really dislike Sven in the tri-lane. So I always thought it would be funny if Sven was a ranged hero, and if you got a Vanguard, then he would be like, I really dislike Sven in the tri-lane with the ranged Vanguard. I think that would just crack me up. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just too nerdy. Yeah, if it is, then whatever. Nerds rule the world. So Clockwork, being outfarmed, but he did go get a gank and kill the Vengeful Spirit, so he's doing his job. Clockwork needs to gank as soon as he hits level. Well, not as soon, but reasonably close, like before 10 minutes in the game, which he did, and he managed to pick off the Weaver. And it looks like there's going to be a little bit of a lull, and this is very fast speaking that I'm doing, so I'm going to take a drink of Gatorade. Alright, Crystal Main with the double Dandruin goes down, but Leshrac lays down a Split Earth and harasses the Weaver a little bit more. Weaver doesn't have he only has 18 creep kills. Let's see who's getting the farm in this lane. Leshrac has 28 creep kills and Sven has 0 creep kills. So Leshrac is getting most of the farm. Leshrac is a very item dependent intel hero, but once you get farm, man, if he can tank like a couple waves as his ultimate, he'll have done his job. I really like the new. Alright, anyway, so it looks like a nice shackle shot goes on the Sand King, catches him, and Vengeful Spirit is in a little bit of trouble, but he manages to help pick out the Crystal Main, and looks like Sentinel are starting to win the bottom lane back into their favor, which is good because their tanker is totally owning the Morphling. I mean, he has 34 creep kills to the Morphling's 23, but more importantly, Tinker has 4 hero kills, and Morphling's died twice. Meanwhile, my voice is cracking like at a total prepubescent teenager. God, my English is apparently not the most effective at 10 a.m. Looks like Sven throws down a Stormbolt. I think Scourge might be able to. Let's see if Scourge will get a tower tonight. No! I don't know. Nope, they don't get a tower tonight, but looks like Tinker came out and got a kill. And is rocketing creeps, or lasering creeps, so they managed to trade 2 kills for a tower. I think that was worth it for Sentinel. They really need to get their Morphling any sort of gold that they can, and as long as Morphling doesn't die. Meanwhile, Clockwork gets a kill somewhere on Sven. I don't really know how he did it. Yeah, probably a rocket placed somewhere up Sven's giant axe thing, halberd. You know what they say about giant axes? Yeah, that's what they say about giant axes. I don't think I need to say anything more. I'll just leave it to your own imagination, which if it becomes too perverted, then that's your own fault, you sick fuck. Alright, anyway, Scourge are gonna 5-man, 4-man mid for a bit. Tinker farms up. Let's see how close he is to his travels. Looks like he bought them because, yep, he has travels, so Tinker's become a mid-game monster, and we'll see how effective he should be able to sort of totally own the other 4 heroes besides the Morphling on the Scourge lane if he just teleports anywhere, throws down rockets, and spams. Sentinel places down a Sentry Ward and goes for a Stormbolt, but they see Tinker going in, and see that's sort of the reason. That's sort of the effectiveness of Tinker getting an 11-minute boots of travel. He just sort of walks in. Let's see if Vengeful Spirit will die to the bugs. No, Vengeful Spirit will live to the bugs. Meanwhile, Clockwork manages to pick up a kill on the Windrunner, but the Orange picks up a kill on the Sand King. And Weaver time lapses, but it looks like he might die anyway to the Magic Missile. No, Clockwork comes in, and Tinker gets a laser kill. He is unstoppable. 11 minutes in. This is not looking too good for the Sentinel. Meanwhile, the Morphling is doing what he should be doing, which is AFK farm. So it looks like Morphling is sort of Sentinel's only hope. And Morphling managed to pick up a tower. So good job by Morphling, but this early boots of trap on the Tinker is proving to be quite a nuisance on the Scourge side. Meanwhile, a monster rocket manages to pick off a double kill. God damn it. Ah, fuck! Alright. They're saying Woe Dota, so it might have been a spectacular rocket. Alright, I'm going to find that clip, and I'm going to edit it into an introduction, and you will see what I missed. So this is at 20... Wow, this game, so many kills. Like, this game, I expected to improve my mini-map awareness, but there are just so many kills everywhere. 21 kills in 12 minutes, that's a little bit under 2 kills a minute, so please excuse my total mini-map fail. I've caught a lot of them, but I think maybe only 2/3, which is really disappointing on my part, but I will try to make it up to you guys. So I'm going to try to capture that Clockwork Woe Dota moment and put it into an introduction, and hopefully you guys will see what happened. So be on the lookout for that. So Tinker is doing his standard teleporting everywhere, rocketing pretty much everything. Looks like the double rocket goblin squad is in full effect, rocketing everything, and just being generally very annoying. Meanwhile, Weaver doesn't have a Vanguard 13 minutes in, so a little bit of disappointing farm on the Weaver. Highest creep score in the game is the Windrunner 62, meanwhile 54 on that other hero, on the Morphling. So I thought there was a lot of action, but it was mostly Tinker and Clockwork harassing the shit out of the Sentinel team. I wonder how he's getting vision. I guess he's just sort of hoping for spam, or oh, probably a Clockwork Rocket illuminated the vision and allowed Tinker to get proper map. Clockwork hooks in, misses the Windrunner barely. Nice use of Windrun to juke out of the way. So, yeah, I think this is sort of the first lull in the game. 14 minutes in, 21 kills, and my god. I mean, it might not be the most professional, but you can't deny that Filipino Dota is hella fun to watch if some person was competent enough to catch all the kills. So it looks like Dreamz Sand King is sort of sitting on a sentry ward, but looks like they might just give up this tower. I mean, there's only really a Vengeful Spirit to defend it, meanwhile my voice cracks very, very poorly. So it looks like Scourge just get a free tower. I guess the combination of the Clockwork Rockets and the Tinker Rockets sort of had to harass Sentinel back to the base, and yeah. That's sort of the downside of being a later game team. Early game skills like the Clockwork Rocket and the Tinker heat-seeking missiles will completely own your team. Meanwhile, Tinker manages to get a Chaos on the Clockwork sort of run-in, and it looks like Sven is going to die as well to the Clockwork. So, good job by Scourge. Scourge up by 9 kills so early in the game. No, yeah, 9 kills. I know how to do math. What do you think I am? So, yeah. So Scourge are doing a good job keeping Sentinel support heroes severely underleveled, severely underfarmed, allowing their Weaver to get farm. Let's see what the Morphling has. Morphling picked up an early ultimate orb. He managed to go for a bottle. I mean, the standard Chinese build with an early bottle is to go sort of a Morphling bottle, maybe Rush Scotty, or bottle Rush PKB Scotty, or bottle Yasha into Scotty. So let's see what he does. But Morphling's getting his farm on. Meanwhile, Sand King gets a kill on the Windrunner. I'm gonna guess Clockwork had a nice hook initiation. Sand King followed it up with a nice barrel strike and maybe an epicenter. Although I doubt that epicenter was even needed. No, it looks like epicenter was used because it's on cooldown. It's on 121 seconds. So Morphling gets lasered as he waves away. He's gonna bottle up, curl up, and go back to farming. Meanwhile, Weaver's taking this time to get some much-needed farm. Since Morphling sort of recovered from his early game fail, as in he is not feeding anymore, and he's managed to pick up an item, an ultimate orb, they're going to need a Weaver to sort of counteract that if Tinker doesn't get no hex. Maybe the ultimate orb is for a Lincoln Sphere, because there's sort of like a couple of single target disables, or maybe just mostly, I think, just for, if you manage to pick up a Lincoln Sphere, it'll just be for the refresh hex that the Tinker would do. Although I think a BKB would be more useful in that case, because it'll stop all the hexes instead of just one. So, I'll be interested to see what Tinker does, or Morphling does with that ultimate orb. Alright, I'm gonna watch the minimap like no other. You're gonna be so impressed by my minimap awareness. Looks like Tinker managed to pick off a Sentry Ward. Good counter warning, I guess. Leshrac doing some hit on the tower. Leshrac is going for a mechanism. That's a little bit odd. Usually Windrunner, especially since he had the solo lane, picks up mechanism. What does Windrunner have? Windrunner has 1400 gold. So I don't really know what Windrunner did with the farm. Managed to pick up Phase Boots and Wand and a Basilius, but not too much else. So it's a little bit, I mean, Leshrac can use a mechanism. I mean, it gives him some survivability, but he really needs sort of like tankish mana items like Ags, or even, I think, sort of, the only hero Bloodstone's good on is probably Leshrac, because he needs strength. Meanwhile, nice adaptive strike by the Morphling, but he doesn't manage to get a kill. Meanwhile, Sven manages to pick up a kill on the Tinker, and gets owned for 510 extra gold. Meanwhile, Weaver comes through, and Clockwork manages to pick up a kill, killing the Clockwork is just beefing his way through everything, owning everything. Let's see if Weaver can get this kill. Oh! Crystal Main jack the kill. I think it was pretty necessary, or else looks like Winter is just gonna get stunned. I don't really know he's the game Clockwork hooks, and a totally necessary epicenter will finish off the Windrunner. So a complete massacre by the Scourge. They lost the Tinker, and they lost a lot of hero bounty, but they managed to pick up